Hi. When our oldest son was born, a Bible verse became very precious to us, and I shared this in the prayer meeting on Monday, and a number of people said to me after how that verse had really sustained them through difficult times in their life. And it's from Joshua chapter 1 and it's verse 9, and I hope it'll be an encouragement to you as well. It's where God says to his people, "Be strong and courageous. Do not tremble or be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." God spoke to Joshua because Moses had just died, and Moses had been this great leader who'd led 2.5 million people out of slavery, and now the baton was passed on to Joshua, and he was fearful, he needed direction, he needed strength, and God said, "Be strong and courageous." And that is God's word for us today as well. Many people in our nation are fearful, some are trembling, many are dismayed. And yet we don't find strength in ourselves. We can find strength because God has promised to never leave us nor forsake us. I came across a quote from C.S. Lewis, who wrote some 70 years ago, and he was there talking about the age of the atomic bomb. But I think his words are relevant for us today, and I've adapted it for us. It says, "In one way, we think a great deal too much about the coronavirus. When asked how we to live in a world with coronavirus, I'm tempted to say, as you would have lived in the 16th century, when the plague visited London almost every year, or as you would have lived in a Viking age, when raiders from Scandinavia might land and cut your throat any night. Or indeed, as you're already living in an age of cancer, an age of diabetes, and an age of paralysis, an age of rail and car accidents. In other words, do not let us begin by exaggerating the novelty of our situation." Friends, you and all whom you love were already sentenced to death before the coronavirus was first transmitted. And quite a high percentage of us were going to die in unpleasant ways. We have indeed one very great advantage over our ancestors, that's anesthetics, and we still have that. But it is perfectly ridiculous to go about whimpering and drawing long faces, because there is now one more painful and premature death to a world which already bristled with such chances, and in which death itself was not a chance at all, but a certainty. So what action should be taken? Well, it is to pull ourselves together and be strong and courageous. If we are going to die from the coronavirus, let that virus, when it finds us, let it find us be doing sensible and human things, praying and working and teaching and reading and being kind neighbours and listening to music and bathing our children and exercising and chatting to our friends, not huddled together like frightened sheep and thinking about viruses, because it may harm our bodies, but it doesn't need to dominate our minds. We can be strong and courageous, and we can also share this with people around us. And as a church, we've produced these cards today, which we can give out on our streets, and you can share your name and where you live in the locality and the phone number, and then offer to do things like either pray for them or pick up some shopping, have a chat to them. And it's also going to point people to these daily broadcasts, which they can be part of. Or if they want to give something to help the poor in our city, they can give to Basics Bank either food or they can give some money. And the verse that I've shared with us today is on these cards as well, that we can be strong and courageous. Have a great day, knowing that the Lord is with you, for he will never leave you nor forsake you.